Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm not.
All right, very, very excited to have NBA legends, Heat legends, Chris Bosh on the Maybe I'm Crazy podcast. Chris, thank you so much for joining us. It's definitely an honor. Covered you when I was in Miami for the amazing run that you guys went on to the NBA Finals. It's really, it's an honor to have you on.
Thank you very much. I'm really, really excited to be doing stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's unprecedented times. We were talking a little bit before we started recording. You know, the kids are at home and we're getting through COVID. But the NBA bubble has been incredible. As far as I'm concerned, I was blown away, really, by all the leagues and what they've been able to do. But the NBA bubble was just amazing.
No, yeah, absolutely. You definitely have to give credit where credit's due. Just the job so quickly. I mean, the layoff in the grand scheme of things wasn't really that long. And with that said, they put together, something that nobody liked at first and nobody really thought was going to work. But, when you see the level of competition continue to thrive, and then you see just how passionate the guys are about the game, it all works out. And of course, it being a bubble, less chances, hopefully, of people getting sick. I mean, to actually pull it off, it's been a great thing. And I'm excited for the finals. It's been a great season.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited for the finals, Miami Heat there. But before we talk about the finals, you have lots of kids. You're a family guy. And, you were in the league for a very long time. So you're used to obviously playing in front of huge crowds and big moments and the travel and the playoff travel. And we saw, not every team was really equipped for what the bubble presented as far as the challenges of being away from your family and, being, stuck with your teammates all the time and being in this, really super restricted, unprecedented environment. How do you think that you would have dealt with that?
Oh man, I asked my wife when everything got pretty much back underway and guys started training, knowing that they were going, to the bubble. I asked my wife right away. I said, what do you think? would I be going? And, she said the decision would have been mine, but yeah, I couldn't have seen. I can play without crowds. That's happened before. I think everybody in that that's playing in that situation has been there with no people in the stands. But you just get you get used to a certain way of doing things, and especially with so many kids, I don't see how I would have been able to stay sane. And you see some guys electing to opt out as opposed to being away from your family for so long, because it's stressful. It's a stressful thing. It's a scenario, stressful for everybody. And I think what the guys that are there now, they've been there almost 3 months, so, and look, I retired and it was really hard for me to stop moving for 3 months. So I can't imagine how tough it is for the guys doing it now.
Well, our team, the Miami Heat, did it, and they are in the NBA Finals. I'm thrilled. I know you're excited for them as well. What's unique about this particular Heat team?
I think the way they move the ball. I think when we played, you knew where a lion's share of the productivity was going to come from. With this team, it just seems like everybody's got the green light. I have to give credit to Spo. He's really unlocked that 3-point potential. He loved 3-pointers back then. But now he seems to have taken it to another level. And of course you have, great shooters like Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero and guys like that, you want to give them confidence letting the ball go. But just to see how the team is really just playing together, we expect them to be, very tough. We expect them to play hard. We expect them to have that Heat way of doing things, making Miami proud. But yeah, this team, they just seem to be just offensively, just in every series they've been in, which has been different series, they've been in great rhythms, moving the ball, playing together and making plays for one another. And it's been really fun to watch.
So there's been several factors or ties from your time with the Heat till now that still remain, obviously, mainly in Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra. And Eric Spoelstra, you know, his reputation on the league wasn't always that he was a great coach and that, you know, he had Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade and LeBron James and Pat Riley, you know, who couldn't win with them? Do you think Spo's finally getting the recognition he deserves for being a great coach?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm watching TV and I have to laugh because, and let me say this, we gave Spo a rough time, which we're players, you're supposed to. You're supposed to give your coaches a rough time, but yeah, he did, you know, get some, you know, unfair criticisms in the media. Sometimes you feel like you're not allowed to grow into your position, but regardless, you know, he stayed consistent in what he's done. You can see the growth in him as a coach. And now, I mean, you know, everybody's like, oh, he's the best coach in the NBA. He's the best coach in the, and it's crazy hearing that because I remember when, you know, I mean, he was getting flack on both ends, you know, guys like me wanting the ball more and we need to run this offense. And then, you know, others, you know, saying that you're not good enough and you should be replaced. Regardless of all that, he continued to, you know, just do well. And even with the praise, I can tell you for sure, Spo is going to go right back to work tomorrow. That's just what he does. Highs, lows. He's going to be in the office. He's going to be taking care of his family. You know, he's going to be doing those incremental things, you know, to make a great situation.
And he's a big part of the Heat culture. And we keep talking about Heat culture, which, you know, if you're around the Heat organization, you know what that means. And people throw the term culture around a lot, like, oh, they have good culture, they have good culture.
Right.
But Heat culture is very specific because the city of Miami is so unique. And when you think of Miami, you don't think of like blue collar and, you know, regular people and hard work. Like that's not the reputation of Miami, even though that is really what Miami is made of. You know, South Beach is a very small part, and you guys are playing South Beach, it's downtown Miami. But the Heat culture is, you know, it really is a representation of Miami. How would you explain Heat culture to someone?
Well, I mean, you know, they have the mottos. What is it? Hardworking and most physical, you know, all that stuff. Really, yeah, it's just what you put into your craft. Work hard. You know, having a family first, a team first mentality, and working hard and doing all the hard things that no one wants to do. I think automatically when you do that in life and basketball, whatever, that's going to separate you from a lot of people. So just bringing that approach, it puts you in a different landscape as a team, as an organization, and as a winner. And despite what happens, I mean, I think I was talking to someone earlier and we were just kind of just marveling at how, you know, 3 years ago, it wasn't looking too good, you know, no disrespect to any of the guys on the team, but the records weren't strong. Dwayne was gone, Big Three gone, you know, it's just crazy. It was kind of like some dark days over Miami a little bit, but you know, just persevering, sticking with the hard times and really just, like I say, doing your work, doing their job every day, that'll always keep you in the conversation. And I mean, I'm surprised they're in the finals. I'm not gonna lie to you, but then again, I'm not surprised because it's like one of those situations. If you lock anyone in there with the Heat, boy, even if you do beat them, it's going to be a tough series and you're going to walk out of there with some lumps, you know?
Yeah. And a big part of establishing that kind of mentality is the Godfather, Pat Riley, who, you know, he said himself, you know, you gotta stick with it when it's tough. You know, you can't fail. You gotta have some guts.
For sure.
And there was a lot of questions about the Heat, like you said. How much of a role does Pat Riley play in setting the tone for the whole organization?
Oh, he sets the tone. I think it starts with him. You know, it's funny. I'm hearing the Godfather thing a lot. I think, you know, it's finally sticking now. He got the gray slick back now.
He's got the look.
But it just, it starts with Pat. And I mean, you know, I've had the honor of having conversations and dinners and lunches with him. And I mean, it just he's so passionate about one being great and two the game of basketball and his family. You know, those three things. I mean, he cares deeply, deeply about, and you know, it trickles down. And you know, the no nonsense approach, you know, the professional approach, laying the grounds for the expectations for everyone. That's like a lot of the things that he brings that a lot of people don't get to see. And so in order for the organization to thrive, he comes in with that attitude every day. I mean, he doesn't have to come into the office. He's always in the office. He's in the bubble. He doesn't have to be in the bubble. You know, he doesn't have to do anything, but yet and still he continues to aspire to find that next thing, and he keeps growing. So, you know, I admire him greatly, and just what he's done overall. I mean, he's the GOAT, man.
Yes. I mean, I am a Pat Riley zealot. I love Pat Riley. Well, Pat Riley was, you know, the creator of the big three, yourself, Wade, and LeBron. He constructed that, and now the Heat are going up against LeBron. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit petty when LeBron left, but it was only because he went back to Cleveland. It was
It's
only
just
because he went
because
back
it's
to
being
Cleveland.
competitive. That's okay. It's being competitive.
Yeah, but I've forgiven him now that he's in LA, because you know he's just 17 years. This is unbelievable what he's doing, and I didn't want to be that person that is watching, you know, the ends of one of the greatest to ever play this game and still be mad about, you know, some old stuff. Now I'm a petty person, so it was difficult for me, but I'm looking forward to this series. I mean, what are you, when you're watching LeBron, obviously you play with him, you know him very well. What are you seeing in his game now in his 17th season?
Well, I mean, you know, he's starting to defer more. You know, allowing the team to kind of take on its own personality. Not that he didn't before, but it just morphs. I've watched him play all season, and it's changed a few times. They definitely go in through AD quite a bit. You know, they're going to make him a problem you have to deal with, and then you know they play from there. But just the fact that he led the league in assists. You know, the fact that he was able to do that. I'm not going to say at that age because that's always just an easy thing for people to say. I'm just going to say he's been playing basketball and he's, you know, redefined his position. You know, we always use that term reinvention with the Heat a lot, but that's what he's doing. You know, he's reinvented his game just a little bit. He's accomplished another challenge, which is leading the league in assists, which is, you know, crazy. I mean, he's always been a great passer, but just his control, his patience, you can tell he's getting to that point in his career where, you know, like Ali, even Mayweather, it's like a lot of defense, a lot of rope a dope. And then, you know, if you let him hit you, that's not going to be a good thing. So just them getting into their system, playing, moving the ball, distributing, and not really rushing. That's kind of been the most impressive thing I've seen from him this year.
So no one expected the Heat to be in the finals, obviously, except for the Heat. And the Lakers were supposed to be there. They've got LeBron and AD, and they were at the top of the West. And you know what they've done in the bubble has been impressive, but they're supposed to be there. The Heat are the underdogs.
Right.
What will the Heat have to do in this series to win a championship?
Well, you know, of course, we can say all the easy things, take one game and one possession at a time and all those cliches, which is true. But one thing you can't do is, you know, allow AD to have a series like he did in really the past three series. He's going to get his points. But a guy like that, when he's shooting 50% from the field and LeBron and throwing lobs to him and they're playing patty cake down low with the lobs, that's not a good position to put yourself in. You definitely want to contain him. You want to get back. The Lakers are extremely fast in the open court, so you want to mitigate their fast break opportunities and really, you know, I think slow the game down. Not, you know, I use that term loosely, but yeah, slow the game down, run your sets, make AD and LeBron work. You know, they've got to do it on both ends. And you got to find a way to wear them down because if they're fresh going into that fourth quarter, you know, that's not going to be good. And you can't let Rondo go Rondo. Rondo is always just in the weeds. You know, he's like in that perfect position to where I don't know how people forget about him, and he'll have that one game or that one series where he just goes Rondo and he's unstoppable, and he's out there just being a savant the way, you know, like he is usually with the ball. So you definitely want to be aware of them, give them limited second chance opportunities, but you know, go out there and play hard, fight them, and make every game close and try to win it in the end.
It feels like every member of this Heat team has had a game or just a moment. Tyler Hero, Dragic, but obviously Jimmy Butler, you know, he didn't really have the best reputation around the league with fans and you know, analysts before he came to the Heat. But the Heat are a place where, you know, villains can thrive, and because you really don't mind being the villains. Yeah. I mean, you guys were the most hated. I mean, like I can't even think of another team that got more hate and criticism than the Big Three during your time in Miami. Like, it was insane to me. The entire country just hated Miami. The place everyone used to want to go vacation. Now right. But Jimmy has completely embraced Miami. Miami has embraced him. How big of a factor is he going to be in this series?
He's going to be a huge factor. And what I would like to see from him is being more aggressive. I think he's going to have to be more aggressive. You know, I know sometimes he likes to be patient with the game. I think in this series, he can't be patient. You know, there's no time. You know, it's 4 more wins to a championship. He's got to insert himself very, very early and very often. You know, he's going to have to be that guy that they need him to be, and that guy who he says he is. So, you know, and if we're talking about, you know, confidence, Jimmy has no problem with confidence. You know, I'm not worried about that part, but, you know, just him as a leader, you know, he's going to be vocal, you know, he's going to be emotional in a good way. He just has to, I would really like to see him assert himself even more. I mean, like, go overboard a little bit, because I think it'll be necessary. But, you know, he's going to play his game. He's going to play within himself. And, you know, even if he is playing aggressive, it's always in a team first way. So, you know, that's another one of the things. If Miami wants to win the series, man, Jimmy Buckets, what they call Jimmy Buckets, boy, Jimmy Buckets, he's got to do his thing.
There's a lot of storylines in this finals matchup, but to me, the one that sticks out the most is, one, because I'm petty, but two, because, you know, I love Pat Riley. Is there any, I mean, you're around the organization and you obviously were there when all this happened. Do you think there's any lingering animosity, or maybe animosity is too aggressive of a word, but between Pat and LeBron?
No, I don't think there's any animosity. I mean, you know, for one, there's great respect on both sides. You know, two, you know, I've had conversation on both sides. Trust me, there's no animosity. But at the end of the day, that doesn't take your want to win away. Yeah, does it make a little sweeter if it's a win against the LeBron James led Lakers? Yeah, of course. That's a little sweeter. And yeah, if I can, you know, go toe to toe with one of the great organizations and led by Pat Riley, for sure. That's a pretty sweet win. You know, the finals is always going to be that kind of landscape for those kind of ideas to play out. But, you know, all in all, you know, it's nothing but love and competition. And, you know, that's one of the best parts, you know, about basketball. You can leave and go and come and do whatever you want. But at the end of the day, it's between the lines, and it's going to be up to the players. You know, all of them has worked up. They've worked up to this point in the season to get here, and you just got to toss the ball up and let it go. Let all those emotions go. So we'll see what happens.
So you went to 4 straight finals with the Heat. The finals obviously are a different level of competition than even the rest of the playoffs, I imagine. Can you think of a moment in that time with the Big Three where you saw the difference in intensity? Like, you know, you saw LeBron go off, or Wade said something in the huddle, or you yourself, where there was just like okay, this is it. Like, we're fighting for a championship right now. This is different than anything else I've experienced.
Well, unfortunately, that happened to me when we lost game 2 against Dallas back in 2011. That's when it got real. It was all the fun stuff. Oh, when it's like, taking it to another level, and, the team getting more hype and the fans getting more reactive and the pressure turning up, that's one thing. But when you lose a game, losing a finals game, that's the smack in the face. So, that was kind of the thing that really made you realize, like, oh, okay, yeah, this is extremely hard. And I mean, I would say my first road game, that was kind of, which they don't, these guys here, they don't have to worry about. This is going to be hard all the time. Right. But the road was a very, very different atmosphere. Trying to win a finals game on the road, extremely difficult. But that was kind of the things that kind of put me back in my skin. Unfortunately, no cool stories on that one.
When you guys first came together, the moment I knew it was gonna be some heat, for lack of a better term, no pun intended, on you guys, was when you had the big press conference. So not 1, not 2, not 3. Yeah. I remember watching that, like, oh my God. Like, people are gonna be so mad at this. Did you notice that it ratcheted up a little bit? The hate ratcheted up a little bit after that press conference?
Yeah, like 2 days later. I didn't know until 2 days later. Before that, I was straight. We were having fun. You saw how much fun we were having. We weren't thinking about anything. But, we were just totally in the moment, just having fun. But yeah, after the smoke cleared, about 2 days later, I started watching TV again, and, you come back down to planet Earth, and, you got to get ready for the season. And yeah, that's when I noticed. I said, oh yeah, that didn't go over too well. People didn't like that one.
Oh my God. It was great though. I loved every second of it. And you guys got the last laugh.
Gotta love it. You gotta love it. It was a good time.
It was. So tell us a little bit before you go about your newsletter.
Yeah, I've been writing a newsletter, weekly newsletter for those that love stories. It started off kind of as me kind of telling the story about us and the Spurs, but I got through it so quick. And yeah, I'm not going as many places anymore. I went ahead and, continued the story, and we've been working with a great team, and it's just, stories and insights from, my reflection of, getting further removed from the game. So, remembering these lessons, remembering these stories and stuff like that, that I think that people, will find, one, amazing, and two, that you might get something from it. So, it's a work in progress, and I'm really, really excited about it.
And it's called The Last Chip. Where can people find the newsletter?
The Last Chip at thelastchip.com. Subscribe. I'll do the rest. We'll send you an email. It's free, or there is a premium option.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on, Chris. It's really, like I said, it's an honor. It was pretty much the beginning of my professional career in Miami with you guys. So it's good memories. I was watching a YouTube video of the 2013 parade down Biscayne Boulevard. It was good times.
Good one. That was a good one. Yeah, it was hot that day. It was a good one.
That was a good one. Well, thanks again, Chris. Make sure you check out thelastchip.com and subscribe to Chris's newsletter. Enjoy the finals, and let's go Heat.
Go Heat.